A powerful moment in history unfolded on Saturday as the Vatican took a significant step towards making amends for its role in suppressing indigenous cultures in the Americas. In a historic move, 62 artifacts were returned to indigenous peoples from Canada, marking a new chapter in the Catholic Church's journey of reckoning with its colonial past. The artifacts, including an iconic Inuit kayak, were presented to a delegation of the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops who will ensure their safe return to the individual indigenous communities they belong to. This act of restitution was described as a gift and a symbol of dialogue, respect, and fraternity in a joint statement released by the Vatican and the Canadian Church. However, the Vatican's ethnographic collection, known as the Anima Mundi Museum, has been a source of controversy. The broader debate surrounding the restitution of cultural goods taken from indigenous peoples during colonial times has put the Vatican's collection under scrutiny. Most of the items in this collection were sent to Rome by Catholic missionaries for an exhibition in 1925, but the question remains: were these items truly given freely, or were they taken advantage of due to the power dynamics at play in Catholic missions at the time? Indigenous groups, historians, and experts have long questioned the narrative presented by the Vatican. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Catholic religious orders played a role in enforcing the Canadian government's forced assimilation policy, which aimed to eliminate indigenous traditions. This policy included confiscating items used in indigenous spiritual and traditional rituals, such as the potlatch ban of 1885, which prohibited an integral First Nation ceremony. These confiscated items ended up in museums and private collections across Canada, the U.S., and Europe. Negotiations to return the Vatican's artifacts gained momentum after Pope Francis met with indigenous leaders in 2022. These leaders had traveled to the Vatican to receive an apology from the Pope for the Church's involvement in running Canada's residential schools, which caused immense harm. During their visit, they were shown some of the artifacts, including the Inuit kayak, wampum belts, war clubs, and masks, and requested their return. Pope Francis expressed his support for returning these items on a case-by-case basis, stating, "In the case where you can return things, where it's necessary to make a gesture, better to do it." The Vatican's decision to return the artifacts on Saturday was made during the Holy Year, exactly 100 years after the 1925 exhibition, where they were first showcased in Rome. The joint statement from the Vatican and the Canadian Church emphasized that this act was an ecclesial sharing by the successor of Peter, entrusting these artifacts to the Church in Canada as a testament to the encounter between faith and indigenous cultures. The Canadian Catholic hierarchy has committed to ensuring the proper safeguarding, respect, and preservation of these artifacts. The Canadian Museum of History in Gatineau, Quebec, is expected to receive the items first, where experts and indigenous groups will work together to identify their origins and determine the best course of action for their future. This process of reckoning with the abuses of the past is a significant step towards reconciliation. Joyce Napier, the Canadian ambassador to the Holy See, highlighted that this return has been a key priority for the Canadian government. And today's announcement is a monumental step towards healing and understanding. In 2023, as part of its broader efforts to address its colonial past, the Vatican formally repudiated the doctrine of discovery, a set of theories backed by 15th-century papal bulls that legitimized the seizure of native lands during the colonial era. This statement was a historic recognition of the Vatican's complicity in the abuses committed by European powers, even though it fell short of formally rescinding the papal bulls themselves. The Vatican's statement on Saturday cited the repudiation of the doctrine of discovery, stating that Pope Leo's return of the artifacts concludes the journey initiated by Pope Francis. This act of restitution is a powerful symbol of the Church's commitment to making amends and fostering dialogue, respect, and fraternity with indigenous peoples.